Welcome to the AELC family. This is a recap of a talk that I gave at the recent congregational meeting. I just wanted to make sure that everyone had a chance to hear the message that I provided this past week. So the topic is the serious need for the congregation to increase its offerings for the support of the budget. And this is not a new topic, it's something we've talked about for several years. We have been able to survive with this deficit through the use of PPP funds that we got from the pandemic. So that's been taking place of our deficit in the year 2022 and also this year in 2023. What we're facing now is in 2024, those PPP funds will be used up. And so now is the time for us to start looking at that. But before I get into the details on that, permit me to put a little personal message in here. As a result of my diagnosis, I've been a wonderful recipient of care and outpouring of prayers and concerns and just support from my church family here at AELC. And I wanted to express my gratitude for that and how much it is really appreciated by myself and my family. I have many reasons for liking and wanting to support this congregation. And one of them always kind of in the back of my mind was the fact that this is a family and they act like a family and you get supported by the family. But it was kind of it wasn't, I didn't feel it directly because I didn't have that much need. And in this time now, I do, and here it is. And I feel it distinctly. And it's been a wonderful experience in amongst the chaos of the situation. That has been a wonderful blessing, again, for me and my family. And now I know it, and it adds to the need that I see to support this church. So that's my personal message. And when you tie that into other reasons for supporting the church, things that I've stood up here and talked about many times, just being able to reach out, to be able to provide support to other people far beyond my reach, just because there's other people that are involved in finding activities and finding needs outside of this church. I can't do that. And so that was one of my reasons. Well, now I have a new reason that is more pertinent or more noticeable to me that I hadn't seen before, and that's the support of this church. So let's go back to what I want to talk about in terms of the financial situation of the church. What we have is a budget that has been structurally in deficit for the years 2022 and 2023, the year we're currently in. And we need to use the PPP money to the tune of about $15,000 or $16,000 a year in order to fill that gap. And so that's a gap that we now need to fill with our own offerings. In addition to that, if you look at your report from the congregational meeting, if you look at the Finance Committee report, at the very end of it, I put in a few numbers. I don't want to bore everybody with a lot of statistics, but just looking at that, you can see that our offerings through the month of April, and I have new numbers from the report for May, and it's about the same, but we're essentially 6% below the budgeted amount of offerings. That doesn't count for the deficit, right, that the PPP money is filling this year. So in addition to having to fill the $16,000 or so next year for 2024, we're also not even hitting that in our offerings. So the point here is this is a real need. We really need to come together as a congregation and a church family to realize that this is also an important part of the church and an important part of the financial picture of the church. All of the other things that we do, the social programs, the outreach that we're able to do as a group of individuals and people gathered together as a congregation, all of that presupposes that this church is here and the staff is here and we can continue on like we have for more than 250 years. But that's not a guarantee if we don't fulfill our obligation to meet the budget each and every year. And so while it's very much appreciated, the other givings that we as congregation members give for all the other programs, we can't forget the need of the budget. And so that's the ask here, and I want to just raise it to your consciousness that it's an important deal. And when we come to 2024, we're going to be looking for filling a gap that is there, and it's going to come from this congregation. I know it will. This congregation is very good when faced with a need to understand that the need is real and it's important for the church to continue on, and we will address that. But this is my attempt at trying to make sure people understand how serious the need is. We are okay. We are not running out of money this year. Through the end of the year, we will probably be fine. It's just we need to be able to be ready to hit the ground running in 2024. The sooner we do it, the better. So hopefully this reaches you and makes you think about a little bit. If you think about what the need is, it's a little more than 10%. So if you look at what you give as part of your offerings, not all the other giving that you give, right, but just for the offerings, if every family unit here could give 10% more, that would most likely fill most of that gap. So that's kind of the size of the gap for you to think about for in your own personal family unit area. So anyway, thank you very much for listening, and I hope you have a great summer. Thank you. Goodbye.